the Locals Only podcast with Gavin Glass, bringing you the best new Irish talent every week from Radio Nova and Nova.ie.
The world is such a mysterious little place. Someone came looking to go to another radio show that is not too far from here, a young Ben, and it turned out it was Gráinne Cotter. And while myself and Grainne have never met, I ended up mixing a record for Gráinne Cotter. Was it two years ago?
A year and a half ago.
Well, here we are. We've met, and we're doing.
It's great to meet you.
Yes, we're doing a session together. How have you been?
I have been great. Thanks
Good.
to you. You did a great job. Fair play, Gavin.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been great. Yeah,
I've been hearing it a lot on the radio. On Radio 1, we're giving it some great support over on Late Date. And
fantastic, yeah.
What you do, it's a unique blend of folk and jazz, and I really, really dig it. Before we do any chats, let's get down and play some funky music.
Cool.
What are you going to play for me?
We just released a single, Shadows, with the music video with the lovely Shanti O'Malley running around Connemara Forest in the spacesuit that was used, would you believe it, in David Bowie's Black Star video.
Get out of town.
Yeah, I know.
Well, let's talk all about that later on. We'll talk about this video. You're joined by Ben on guitar. Now, I know you're more of a piano player, but we couldn't hump that up the stairs. So you brought the...
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, would they? You know, the car is great, can handle the Steinway. But,
so we brought the ukulele in. So Shadows. This is Gráinne Cotter.
Thank you so much. 2, 3, and... You jumped into the sea as your bright eyes shine in the breeze, but the low tide, it swept you away to the daylight. Moments is all that it was, I know. Romance sure isn't love as I stood there and I saw you fade towards the shadows of life. Bam ba ya li dum ba bam ba dum ba yam bam bam bi da dum bam bam. Oh, each new wave it crashes, it breaks, but each new wave it takes you away. It takes you away. It takes you away. Oh, each new wave it crashes, it breaks, but each new wave it takes you away. It takes you away. It takes you away. I jumped into the sea as my thoughts went. They flew with the breeze. Did my heart sink as I saw you fade towards the shadows of life. Oh, let it go. Let it go, let it go. No, there's nothing left to say. No, there's nothing left to say now. As you turn, and as you walk away now. Let it go, let it go. Oh, I jumped into the sea as my thoughts went. They flew with the breeze. Did my heart sink as I saw you fade towards the shadows of life. Do 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 do.
Oh yes, indeed. We are having a Super Soul Sunday here in Radio Nova. Gráinne Cotter has joined us. Wow, that's gorgeous. Would I be right in like there's a huge, I don't know, like it seems darker, seems bigger and heavier from the first album. How have things changed since your debut album?
Since Tides, I think a big part of it would be the band. I had the lovely Michael Coleman and Kieran O'Sullivan with me for the
brilliant,
first album.
yeah, two gunslingers.
They're great, but they joined. Kieran joined us in the January, and we actually had an interview with Pat Kenny, and he's like, Grainne, what are your plans? I said, do you know what, Pat, I'll do an album. And that's how it came, and all of a sudden I thought an album could be done in 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a terror when I get going. I'm like, no, I want it now, so off I go. And then we had to tour the album. We got it done. Fair play to you for the producer who completely turned it around. Fair play. And I met Alan Halimi, who actually produced the latest song.
Yeah.
And Dave Shaughnessy. And we just kind of started jamming together. And the more you develop as a musician, the more you hone your craft. And we've done a lot of gigs and we performed
the confidence,
together.
the wings start to spread out a little. And
you start to get confident in what you do and love what you do. And I couldn't live if I wasn't playing in any capacity, whether it's trad or jazz or whatever. And I suppose... I suppose you realise the significance of it, and you just hope that your music connects with others.
You get that little validation of people picking up on the music and playing, and it's like, wow, maybe I am good at this, because most musicians I know were the most insecure when it comes to our own into their own work. And tell me how you got David Bowie's spacesuit. Now
that was great. Leon Butler, I was actually at a music initiative or an arts initiative I'm from County Clare, at a Glory evening, and I was sitting beside an artist that lived in New York for years and is now teaching in Ballyvaughan, in beautiful parts of
the
Clare.
Ballyvaughan Art College. Yes. Yeah, I love Ballyvaughan.
Beautiful part of the world. And I just said, look, I'm thinking I'm doing a music video, and he suggested Leon Butler. So I emailed Leon, and we met. Fair play to him. We met for coffee, and he listened to the rough version of the song, and he's like, yeah, got something, definitely. And we had a great discussion, and then he's like, I have it, spacesuit. I'm like, but apparently worlds apart in the juxtaposition about being in close proximity with someone, but you can still be in two different worlds. And that I haven't told anyone else the story, only Leon, so hopefully that'll never go anywhere about what the song is really about. Touch wood. And
laminate.
And he lived and worked in Los Angeles for a while, and he knew someone who knew someone who knew someone who knew the company that rented out the spacesuit. It was
mad.
It was mad, and literally because poor David Bowie, God rest him,
David Bowie's dead.
Anyways, he needed it in really, really short amount of time. Like, that video was recorded because obviously his health was deteriorating, and the band actually had the spacesuit that weekend. They got an anonymous call, and they're like, look, we are looking everywhere for the spacesuit. That's the one we want. We'll give you 10 grand if you just let us use the spacesuit this weekend. And it turned out to be David Bowie's production.
10 grand?
Yeah, or something. I was
wow.
Like, it wasn't myself. But
amazing.
And so it's still in the company for some reason. I don't know how it's not in a museum, but thank God we got it before.
What a coup. Fair play to you.
Yeah, I was going around like all day.
So tell me a little about the new record. There's a bit of a personnel a lineup change, different producer and all of that. But have you been writing from a different kind of perspective from the first album? They always say you have your whole life to write your first album, and the second album is like, what am I going to say now?
Yeah. When I was making the first album, there's 9 tracks. I had about 20 songs.
Right.
written.
Okay.
And it's just about, I suppose, narrowing it down, and kind of. Someone asked me recently about how I compose songs, and it's literally, what do I say, it's cheaper than a psychologist. I keep this with me at all times, and it's just
the healing machine.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's great. So the only thing is, you realise you're probably exposing all your human emotions.
Well, you gotta get up on the cross to make those sacrifices.
So it's just intense. When you have intense bursts of I don't know, or sorrow or heartbreak or happiness, or you're trying to delve, or you're trying to figure something out in your head, and I just find it just comes out straight away. It's great. So I suppose it's still in life, I'm going through the same things, figuring out, okay, where I'm going, what am I doing, the odd bit of heartbreak now and again to keep me going, keep the songs written.
Yeah, I know.
You know yourself. So yeah, they're still coming. Thank God. I haven't written a song now that you mention it in about 2 months.
Oh, look, don't worry about that. I've gone 2 years.
I've
I've gone 2 year spells of not writing a song, and then they'll all come.
I love your album, Janie. The recent one was fabulous.
Thank you. But like songwriting, it is that thing that I always equate it back to. Cavemen putting their marks on the walls. It's always been innate in the human condition, that expression and that feeling, and it's if you have that bug, you'll always have it, and it'll always be in there. Will you play me something from the new album? Have you got one that you could translate? The Shadows is from the new record.
From the new record. We'll have to go back to the old one. Is that
go back to, absolutely.
Grainne, shout out to Ben. I read literally yesterday. I was like, Ben, if you're around. So fair play to Ben Turner. He's a great singer-songwriter himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's your surname, Ben?
Turner is the surname.
Ben Turner. I think I would have heard of that name, wouldn't I?
If you Google me, there's like loads of me, and all of them are famous for mostly going to prison. There's a Gavin Glass in America who's a wrestler. He's a welterweight wrestler. As well.
You've a wrestler guy. Maybe your Ben Turner wrestler should wrestle the Gavin Glass wrestler.
There's a priest version of me as well. Like priest can wrestle the wrestler, and we'll see what happens.
That's very
that's only going to go one way, I think. What are you going to play? Well, Ben, are you living in Dublin?
I'm living in Galway as well.
Well, you'll have to come up and do your own music for me. So we get in touch. What are you going to play for me, Grainne, before you go?
We'll go with track 3 of the old album, Memories.
I love this one.
Again,
this is
handbrake, I suppose.
This is a gorgeous one. Grainne Cotter, thank you so much for being here, and send me the album when go on.
Do you mind me saying I'm actually in the Grand Social on May 22nd?
Of course not.
Anyone's knocking around. Your name's on the door now.
Yes, May 20. What night is that?
It's a Wednesday, so I know.
Wednesdays are actually good. Wednesdays are good for me. Yeah, Wednesdays are good for me.
We're going to start early enough anyway.
Okay, May 22nd, Grainne Cotter with band.
With the whole band, yeah.
Fantastic.
Thanks
well,
so
thank you for
much.
joining us here on Nova today, Ben and Grainne. Yep.
Cool. 3. You love someone else now, it's too late for me. Our only love is buried in the sea, where the waves roll high, but there's suns to shine. For in my mind floats memories of you. I never gave you all the love that you deserved. You see, I wanted more than love, I wanted all the world. So I packed my bags, though it made me sad. But in those bags were memories of you. Memories, oh, you see in my mind floats memories of you. Memories, after all this time, still memories of you. Stare at the sea sometimes from many different coasts. That old great love we had still haunts me like a ghost. And though our love is gone, I'm still moving on. I sometimes don't know what's left to do. Time is gone and your heart is somewhere else. And I'm still wandering on, I'm still wandering by myself. Yes, I like the view, but is there room for two? For in my mind floats memories of you. Yes, in my mind floats memories of you. Yes, in my mind floats memories of you. Why can't they float away those memories of you?
So let me compose myself here. That is the wonderful Gráinne Cotter.
Thank you so much.
May 22nd, down in the Grand Social. Always a wonderful night down there in John Brereton's wonderful club. Great to see you. Great to meet you, actually.
Great to meet
and
you.
Ben,
Such a pleasure.
We got through that. We found out we're FM 104. He was convinced he was coming in here to do a radio show, and you were right in the end.
Yeah,
you were right.
yeah.
You were right, and I was wrong, and all along I was wrong. So that's the best apology I think you'll ever get out of me.
Amazing.
I'm not a great man for those. Now we're going to kiss and make up. Okay, Gráinne Cotter, get out of here. I got to get more music on.
Brilliant. Thanks, Gavin.
That's it for this week's Locals Only podcast. Join us next week for more, and of course, catch the show Sunday evenings from 6 on Radio Nova.
The Locals Only podcast with Gavin Glass. Seriously addictive podcasting from Nova.ie and Radio Nova.
Radio Nova.